Hi YouTube, and welcome back to my random thoughts on Thursdays. This week I want to talk about tolerance. Okay, so it has been a while since I posted anything on YouTube, and obviously a lot of things have happened while I wasn't posting and things, and I thought I would kind of do like a theme of different things and kind of lump a bunch of things together into a single video, and I may do additional ones in the future if I can think of a good theme to talk about other things that have happened while I was offline. Anyway, so this week, like I said, is going to be tolerance, and I'm specifically going to talk about tolerance for people's embracing of themselves, whether they are homosexual, whether or not they're transgender, or whatever, and coming out and choosing to be public with that information. As everyone knows, the most famous story out there is the whole Caitlyn Jenner coming out as transgender, and I will say this, I think it was a wonderful choice for her to come out and do it as publicly as she has. I know a lot of people have criticized how publicly this whole thing has been conducted, how much the media attention has been spent on it, but I think the people who are criticizing that don't understand how important for the transgender community it is for someone as famous as Caitlyn Jenner to come forward and say, you know what, I am transgender and I am fully embracing my feminine side, and I am going to now be Caitlyn Jenner, and I am, I mean, obviously she was born transgender, she was born transgender female, but has lived, majority of her life, I mean, she's 65 now, majority of her life lived as a male, mainly because of stereotypes and the whole thing. I mean, she was a famous Olympic athlete, and could you imagine if she had come out in the 70s? It wouldn't have been accepted. She's gotten so much acceptance coming out now and choosing to do this as publicly as she has, because the transgender community really needs more role models like her. I mean, obviously she's not the only one. I know there's a transgender woman on Orange is the New Black, and I apologize, I don't know her name, but I don't watch the show. I'm not a fan of the show, but I am aware that there's a transgender woman on that show, and so she's pretty famous as well, although I hazard a guess that Caitlyn Jenner is a little bit more famous because she's been around a lot longer. And Olympic gold medal athlete and all this stuff. And of course, the whole affiliation with the Kardashians, which, to be perfectly honest, until this all happened, I didn't even know that when Caitlyn was Bruce, that Caitlyn was married to a Kardashian. I didn't even know that. This is how much I pay attention to pop culture, right? Unless it becomes really big headlines, I don't even follow this kind of stuff. Anyway, but, I think, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the media attention on this, because that community really does need the support and the encouragement to be comfortable to be themselves. And people out there who are ignorant about what transgender really means, this is a way of educating people, and I think it's a good thing. I think this is something that really needs to become part of the public consciousness. Whether you like it or not. And if you don't like it, you know what? It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't attack you personally. It doesn't change your life in any way, shape, or form. So, like the Frozen song goes, let it go. Seriously, just let it go. You're not gonna stop people from coming out as transgender or gay just because you think it's creepy or weird or strange or yucky or whatever your feelings are in the matter. And it might actually not be a bad idea to examine, why do you feel that way in the first place? Anywho, so that's one of the big parts of news. And there's a fellow YouTuber out there that came out as transgender recently, and it was, I think it was late last year that Gigi Gorgeous finally said, you know what, I am transgender and I am transitioning. I don't know if she will ever go through the full transition or not, but she's transitioned enough that she does look fully female now. And I've been watching her videos for a very, very long time, and I've gone back and watched her old videos and things, and the transformation that she has gone through is just amazing, and I think she looks absolutely fabulous. I wish I looked that good, to be perfectly honest. I'm like, how can you be prettier than me? I'm sorry, I'm jealous. You know, I'm not hating, I'm just jealous. She's just so gorgeous, you know, as her name implies. And I fully support people bringing this to the public consciousness because I think it is important. Joey Graceffa is another one who I've been following for years. I've been watching him since he moved out to LA, since he was with Winter Spring Pro, and transitioning from doing parody music videos and skits and things to doing daily vlogging and just kind of building the fan base that he has now, and seeing how he went from, you know, 200,000 or 300,000 followers with Winter Spring Pro to, you know, hitting his first million, then his second million, and etc. And just this rise of fame that he has enjoyed because of YouTube. I think it's amazing and it's great, and you know, more power to him that not only has he finally come out and said, yes, I'm gay, but he did it in such a classy way. I'm gonna actually link the video of his coming out down below, because he did it in a music video format. He never actually says, yes, I'm gay in that video. Subsequent videos he does address it more directly, but in that video he doesn't. It's just at the very end he kisses a very, very good looking boy. And you know, I think it was such a wonderful way to come out and say, hey, you know what, guys, I am gay. I like boys, and you know what, I like boys too. So good for you, Joey. You know, and I guess that's me. It's like, you know what, I'm coming out. I'm straight. As if anyone didn't know that already, because I'm married to a male, you know. So anyhow. But I am a full ally of the LGBTQ plus community. I think that's the current designation now. Any more letters we want to add on to that? I don't know. There's so many possibilities. Anyhow, but I'm an ally because I have, over the years, have had some very good friends. Some that were transgender. Some that were thinking they were transgender, but they weren't quite sure. Maybe they're bisexual, whatever. And some people really struggle with that. They don't know, like, okay, they know that they're different, but they're not quite sure exactly how they're different. And that's one of the reasons why it takes some people a long time to come out to their closest friends about who and what they are, because they have to figure out themselves. I had one really close friend who, ultimately, I believe he has decided that he is a bisexual male, but there was a period of time when he actually thought he was transgender, and he was actually thinking of going through the transition. But he did go and sit through the therapies and everything, and ultimately realized that he didn't want to go through the transition, and preferred remaining male, although somewhat more effeminate male, and, you know, being able to date both men and women and things like that. So that was, you know, that it took him some time to kind of work through all of his mixed emotions and feelings and everything, because I can imagine it's got to be really confusing if you're born and your either your sexuality or your gender identity is different than what is portrayed around you in your life. It's got to be really, really confusing as to, you know, how do you fit into this society and everything. And I can't even imagine having to go through that, to be perfectly honest with you. You know I could never really relate, because I do identify as I think the term now is cis female. So I am female. I was born female and I identify as female, and so I'm a cis female, and then I am also straight, and I know that. I apologize to anyone who's a lesbian out there, but I find absolutely nothing arousing about the female form. I have, you know, given that, you know, I've looked at porn, I've looked at lesbian porn, gay porn, regular porn, etc. And gay porn, oh my gosh, it's so hot. Regular porn, not too bad. But, you know, there's a girl there, and I'm like, eh. And then lesbian porn is like, yawn. Just absolutely no interest whatsoever, other than, you know, it's like two people enjoying each other's company, but like, It doesn't gross me out, it doesn't weird me out, it doesn't turn me, well, I guess it turns me off, but it, you know, whatever. I mean, it's like, whatever. It's just not, you know, I'm 99.999% sure that I am completely straight. Like on the Kinsey scale, I'm either a 0 or a 1, depending on if you're using the 0 to 6 scale or the 1 to 5 scale or whatever. I've seen several different number scales, but I'm at the lowest end. It's just who I am. It's what I am, you know, and I'm not ashamed of that. But not only do I tolerate, but I embrace people who aren't like me, because, you know, ultimately at the end of the day, they're still people. And as long as you're a good person and you know, are moral and I don't think morality has anything to do with religion at all. You can be an atheist and be moral. That's a whole other topic. But anyway, I think, you know, people need to be more tolerant of these differences, because ultimately at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt anyone. I know there's an argument there that, you know, oh, you know, if they're raising children or if they're around children, it can influence children. And you know what? Get off your high horse and get over yourself. First of all, children seeing gay people is not going to turn that child gay or transgender or whatever. It's not going to happen. Either they're born that way, and we have enough evidence at this point that we know that people are born that way, so can we just get past that? It's not going to take a child like someone like me. I mean, I've seen gay people my entire life. I don't even remember the first gay couple I've ever seen, but or even lesbian couple. I actually knew quite a few lesbians back in Chicago when I was younger in our neighborhood and stuff. And you know what? Didn't turn me lesbian. You know, they were just a couple of people that were in love with each other. Like, okay, fine, they look happy. I don't see a problem with that. You know, considering all of the, you know, domestic violence and divorce and all this other stuff going on in the straight community, I don't know why people are having such an issue with the gay community and the transgender community and all of these different communities out there. I mean, and they're such a small percentage of the overall population, and they're not, you know, it's not turning more of the population gay or turning more of the population transgender. I mean, yes, there's more, we're seeing more of it in our society for a number of reasons. One, we have a larger population, so there's, you know, like, even if it's only somewhere between 5 and 10% of people who are in that whole LGBTQ designation in some form or fashion, you know, as the population grows, that maybe that percentage stays the same, but there's going to be more of them because there's more people in general, you know. It's not like a larger percentage of the population is all of a sudden becoming gay or transgender or whatever. So there's that to consider. And secondly is, yes, it's being addressed in the media a lot more, but that's only because these people in these communities have been without a voice for so long and have been discriminated against, have been institutionalized, have been jailed, have been murdered, have been raped, and other horrific things throughout Western history. And it really isn't fair, it isn't right to oppress people for being born different. You know, and you can't pray the gay away, you can't beat it out of somebody, you can't rape it out of somebody. There's just so many things that people try and do against people like that is just so wrong on so many levels. And I think if we can just calm down and just realize that they're just people and they're not gonna come into your home and rape you or take over your family or brainwash your children, none of that's ever gonna happen. You know, just live and let live. You know, if you don't want to see it, walk to the other side of the street and keep going. But, you know, learn, you know, to at least tolerate, if not acceptance, at least learn to tolerate, because continued discrimination just isn't right. I mean, we try very hard not to discriminate against race anymore. It still happens, I know, and that's still an issue. Perhaps maybe not as much of an issue as it was once, but there are still incidents. We know that it's still on the news. There are still people out there that have prejudice against different skin tones. you know, so I know it's a lot to ask people to not only accept different skin tones, but to accept different sexualities and things, but to me, tolerance is so important these days. It really is. And so if you are intolerant of these things, I highly recommend just thinking about why. At least if you understand and can explain why you're intolerant, you know, maybe the next time I meet someone who's intolerant, I'll have a chance to understand that better. So anyway, I think I've rambled enough for this week. Please give me a thumbs up. If you want to continue seeing videos from me, please leave comments below. If people don't comment, and I don't know if you guys are watching or not, so you know, I really appreciate comments. That helps me motivate me to keep working and doing these videos. So until next week, take care. Bye bye.